This is the Type 4 Model 4, a motor gunboat which was developed by the Imperial Japanese Army and was recently added into War Thunder. In-game, this sits at Tier 1 BR 1.7 on the Japanese naval line as a premium vehicle, which will cost you 850 golden eagles to buy. You will quickly notice the feature that sets this boat apart from any other currently in-game. It has two aircraft radial engines mounted down the back that provide majority of its power. This allows the Type 4 to have a top speed of 44 miles an hour in RB and 66 miles an hour in AB. So what this boat lacks in armor, it certainly makes up for in speed. So it has no armor and it's fairly quick. But what armament does this have? Well, the primary armament is a 37mm Type 4 naval cannon with the availability for either HE or APHE rounds of ammunition. Your secondary weapon is a dual 20mm cannon mounting formed of two Type 98 autocannons. This is the weapon that I personally prefer to use due to the much higher fire rate when compared to the 37mm cannon. Although this mounting has minimal front and back coverage due to the bridge being in front of this mounting and the engines being behind, so with this gun you will really only be able to shoot either side of the vessel. In terms of ammunition, you have access to either universal HET or APT magazines. You also have the ability to carry 10 Type 95 depth charges, which contain 100 kilograms of explosive mass. And of course, this vehicle can be used in a few game modes, either Naval Arcade or Naval Realistic Battles. In this video, I will be playing in arcade battles. So into our first game, I started off capturing the A point, now I'm capturing the B point, and then I get attacked by a Kai-10, who I swiftly destroy using the dual 20mm cannons. Those things are very good at taking out aircraft at this BR. Of course, at a 1.7 BR, most aircraft you will be seeing will be biplanes, which are very easy to kill. I then score some hits on an LS, who for whatever reason then dies. I don't know if I set him on fire, or if he just left the game for whatever reason, but it gave me my first naval kill of this game. I then continue to head back towards friendly waters. I was getting a little bit close to the enemy spawns, and I don't want to get spammed with a bunch of enemy boats, because this thing, as I said previously, doesn't have so much armor, so I wasn't really willing to take that risk. And as I round a corner, oh god, it's another boat, who I then start off by spamming into. I knock out the frontal compartment, then I turn to get the 20 mils back on target, as of course they can't fire backwards, get just basically spamming with shots all over his boat, and I knock out the crew, and that is my second kill. On my way back to friendly waters, I then again come across another enemy, a PR 1124. These things are very nice. Russian riverboats, two T-34 turrets. They can be quite dangerous in some cases, and they do actually have some elements of armor over the boat, which does make them a bit better defended than I am. So my plan for attacking him is essentially just to rush in there, spam him with the 20s, and hope that it kills him. Of course, I don't have any armor, and he has two T-34 turrets with, I believe, 76mm cannons. If he hits me with them, it'll do a lot of damage, and as you're about to see, it does. And while I'm doing that, I'm being damaged even more by enemy aircraft and other enemy boats. And as you can see, yeah, he shot me with the 76, but once I get my guns on target, he's completely shredded. He already had a very low crew count, meaning it was quite easy for me to, with just a few hits actually, knock out the remainder of his crew. After that, another Russian comes in, a PR-123, very nice fast boat there. He zooms in, gets some hits on me, and knocks out the remainder of my crew, meaning that I died. At the start of our next game, I start capturing the A point, and I do drop down one of my 5 smoke drops so that I can have some cover from the enemy while I'm capturing this zone, as I am out there all alone and I would prefer not to be shot at. After that, I then do head back to the center of the map, as at this point the enemy had the C point captured, which was in the center, and my team was struggling to get that back, so I thought I might as well go and support them. I then come across a PT-6, I fire some shots, get a few light hits, but then he goes behind some cover and I can't really get any more hits. And then I readjust onto a D3, which is a Russian torpedo boat, get some shots off. He looks to be already damaged, which allowed for a fairly easy kill on my part, as most of his crew had already been knocked out. I then try and get to some cover, and in the process of doing that, I come across a Higgins motor torpedo boat, who I proceed to effectively just destroy. If you look in the top right corner, you will see an indicator of just how fast I was knocking his crew out, just whittling that down very quickly, knocking out the individual compartments of the boat, and I fairly quickly got a kill. About 1.5 magazines there on those 20 mils. That was all it took to take him out. And there we go, an MO4, who I only got a very small hit on, but he must have been on a fairly low crew count, and that was just enough to finish him off. I then proceed to basically rush the enemy, coming across a G5 motor torpedo boat, very fast, and with a fairly decent machine gun, I believe, on top of the bridge. I do knock him out. Of course, it is a fairly small boat, so knocking him out isn't too difficult. And then I run myself aground, and somehow I manage to actually escape. And as soon as I do escape, I get bombed by a Russian ground attack aircraft, a BB-1. So, yeah, very successful, went well, 4 kills. For me, I wouldn't say that's too bad. For anyone who actually watches my channel a fair amount, you will know I do not play naval much. This vehicle is one that I saw on the pre-release development server for this update, and I gave it a quick go, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did enjoy playing this. It was a good, fun little vehicle, and after the update, I had some sort of spare golden eagles, and I thought, you know what? I've not actually started with the Japanese naval tree. It might be nice to get some of the slightly later vessels down in tier 2 and 3. So let's pick this up, start grinding the tree, and maybe have some fun while I do it. And I really have enjoyed playing this. By no means is it overpowered. It can actually be very easily knocked out by enemy fire. But if you keep your speed up, it will be very difficult actually for the enemy to get good hits on your boat. You're quite fast, especially in arcade, 66 miles an hour of your sort of stat card top speed. And yeah, that tends to be enough to make it kind of tricky for the enemy to get good hits on your vehicle. Of course, with the research, this is a tier 1 premium, so it's sufficient up to the end of tier 2, which can make it a nice early grinder. The guns are decent. As you saw, I was using the dual 20mm cannons rather than the frontal 37mm. This is mostly just because the high fire rate of the 20s is something I find much easier to use rather than the much slower fire rate of the 37mm. This is just really something that I found to be a more effective tactic. But still, to finish up, it is a very nice boat, and I have very much enjoyed playing it, and I've almost finished tier 2 now on the Japanese naval tree, so you never know, we might see some more Japanese naval stuff in the near future, if I decide to play that sort of naval line a bit more. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.